So we were always like, hey, let's make some money. Let's do this, let's do that. And I was kind of always encourage girls to make money. Well, what do we do? What do we do? Well, let's, you guys could strip and, I could manage it. I started meeting a lot of people at the clubs that I used to go to. I used to go to upscale clubs. Like, I was making about $3,000 or $4,000 a night. That myth hit at that time, and that was it. It was over. Like, they didn't even care about money. They didn't care about looking good. They didn't care about anything.
Reentry Network Podcast. It's your boy Yak.
It's your boy T.
We got another one for you guys today. Yo, thank you so much for the love. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, man. We have such a strong audience, but yo, we gotta bring you guys another banger today. So I want to bring to the motherfucking stage, yo, get over for my girl Jen. Yo, where's Jen at? Yo, let's go. Hey guys. Hey, what's going on? Yo, look at you.
Yeah.
Yo,
thank you, man. Thank you for shooting through, showing us love. Yep.
Yo, shout out to Jen, man. She's looking stunning too. I'll give it to you. Yo, don't get mad, girl. Like, my girl gonna see it. She'll be like, I'm kidding though.
I don't know, B. I don't know.
Hey. Yo, you're out here. Like, this is so dope. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Nah, thank you.
Thank you for taking the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Taking the time, showing up. And the thing is, you've been around PB Jobs a little bit.
Yeah.
You've been around. You've helped us out. I remember last year we even had some turkey stuff going on where you had contacts for that.
Yes.
So we know you've been giving back to the community. You're a staple. Would you say East Los or Boyle Heights?
Boyle Heights.
Boyle Heights.
Yeah,
okay.
Boyle Heights.
So where do we go from here? B, how do we start
so
this one?
real quick, we're gonna cut this out. Hey, is the cameras recording? Yes. Okay, cool. All right, for sure. All right. So with that being said, I mean, we kind of know your history, but obviously we got to talk about it with the audience, right?
Right.
So you were born and raised Boyle Heights girl, for sure.
Yes.
What was that experience like for you?
Well, I grew up with a single mom, so
Okay.
we grew up, hood. My mom worked. I was always that babysitter, so I was kind of alone, So I got into a lot of crazy stuff as a young kid, not having guidance and the proper guidance.
Yeah. Okay, and you had siblings in the.
I had a
the
sister.
picture?
Yes, one sister.
Younger or older?
She's younger than me.
Oh, okay. So you had to be a big sis too.
Yeah, so I was taking care of her, and yeah, we were always at babysitters.
Had that all on your shoulders, huh?
100%.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Was your mom's first generation? Or were
My
you
mom
guys...
was born in Mexico.
Okay,
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah.
And you know why I asked that? Because I know Boyle Heights has a lot of Chicano roots.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
yes,
there's a
it
lot
did.
of raza there that don't even know Spanish because they've been here 3, 4, 5 generations, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of. There's a lot of Jews there too. There's a lot
Is
of.
that right?
Is it really?
Yeah, it was. Boyle Heights was like Jewish back in the day. So there was like a lot of Jews that lived there, like older people. I'm talking like in their 80s that were still living there. But yeah, it was a Jewish community.
I respect Boyle Heights because you see that culture. Like, even anybody that you talk to that's from Boyle Heights, they're proud because it's its own little world, right?
Yeah.
It's its own little world. Now, but with that being said, though, Boyle Heights does have a lot of history with as far as like gang involvements and a lot of stuff. It's a pretty active location at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
What was that like for you being exposed to all that?
Well, that's who like my family was. I turned to that, for guidance, for acceptance, for friends. That was my comfort zone, I guess, with my homies and homegirls, and
Right.
so that was what I did. Growing up, that's what I turned to because I didn't have any older sisters. I didn't, so it was more like, all right, let's go to the hood, and that's the people that embraced me at that moment and were there at the time when.
How old were you when you started kind of like hanging out with the homies?
Yeah, that's
and
what
shit
I'm
like
wondering.
that?
Yeah.
Well, I was probably about 17, 16.
Oh, so you were fairly like still on
Yeah,
that.
I hung out with them, and then it was like I went to school. I finished high school. I even went to college. I went to college for a year and a half. I went to
way.
Cal State LA, and
There
then
you go.
yeah, I went to Cal State, but I dropped out because I was hustling. I was trying to trying to pay my bills, trying to take care of my mom, trying to I was doing it by myself. So I was kind of like the breadwinner of the house.
That's
So,
intense. And
yes.
that's at like now if it's in college, like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
You're doing all that.
Yeah, so I was kind of doing a lot of things and going to school, and I was, you have to have a balance. Either you're one step in or one step out, because you can't be doing both things. You can't be hustling and going to college and doing illegal stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna catch up to you.
Right.
And that's what happened to me. So.
Yeah. So would you say that up until that point you had like a fairly normal, outside from the single mother stuff, childhood?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because like 16, 17, that means, like, I mean, not to say you made it, but, you know, some whatever. There's some 12-year-olds that you're already in juvenile hall for whatever reason.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I was always around them, but you know, I actually, you know, was, you know,
You had a
really
head on your
about it.
shoulders.
You know,
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
doing, you know, And I was never into drugs. I was just hustling. Like I never was a drug addict or anything like that. But I always, you know, I always hustled to make some money. I like money.
So
Were you still hitting the parties though, like and all that?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Even before you kind of started getting super active into it, but were you hitting?
Yeah,
the
we
parties
were
and doing
hitting
all
like
that?
Rosarito. We were hitting like
That's nuts.
Yeah, we
huh?
were doing the Rosarito. We were doing like we would rent cars, bunch of girls, and I had a bunch of girls with me all the time. And we were all the, you know, the girls that I had were always like from the hood. So
Yeah.
we were always like, hey, let's make some money. Let's do this, let's do that. And I was kind of always encourage girls to make money. Well, what do we do? What do we do? And so basically I started like telling girls, well, let's, you know, you guys could strip and, you know, I could manage it. I started meeting a lot of people at the clubs that I used to go to. I used to go to upscale clubs like in West Hollywood. So I started meeting a lot of like movie stars kind of, you know, like
Yeah.
comedians, politicians and stuff like
That's
that.
nuts,
So
okay.
they would always ask me, hey, do you have girls?
Yeah.
And I would be like, yeah, I do. You know, I have friends. And they would be like, but I didn't really, like, what do you mean? Do I have girls?
Yeah,
you know, like,
yeah.
yeah. So then I was like, okay, to come over and maybe spend some time or massage or whatever. And I would be like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds like, let me tell my friends if
Yeah,
they're
it sounds like
into
a good
it.
time.
So a light bulb went on. And you're
Right.
A light bulb
yeah.
went up, and I said, hey, I could make some money like this. So I started telling the girls, and the girls from the hood, they didn't have any money. They were like, yeah, I'm down. So I started like, you know, sending girls over to these people, and then I, you know, and
This
started
is
making
at what
money.
age too? Sorry,
Huh?
this is at what age?
This was like, I was about 18 already.
Damn,
Gotcha.
you were
18.
doing this at a still young, like something
Yeah.
like this is pretty big.
Yeah. I was 18, and the girls were all like over 18. And, you know, they needed some money, and I had the connections, and because we were going out to these clubs
Right.
in Beverly
Yeah.
Hills, West Hollywood, and you know, telling them, well,
So was that whole scene kind of like what people think of originally, what the Hollywood scene was at that time?
Right, that part.
Like
well,
the whole
I didn't. I
movies,
was.
the clubbing, the
I
real
was new to
parties?
all that because I mean I was young, so I didn't know.
Got you.
Like I just saw like glamour. I saw cars. I saw guys with money. So I was just like, hey, but you know, I didn't know what the whole club was about. You know, I never really went out. So that's how I started networking and meeting a lot of people.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Now at this time, what was like that first? So you had someone go and do the massage, right? That was like the first thing you did. You
Yeah,
had someone do.
the girls were all.
Okay.
Yeah. I started off with like 6 girls, and then I would send them pictures, and then they would like, oh yeah, I'll send her over, and it was like, you know, a couple hours, $1,000, you know, and then it would just be like, I was making about $3,000 or $4,000 a night with girls.
That is
What
nuts.
the fuck?
That's
That's
good money.
and at that time,
At that time.
that is
Yeah.
a lot of money. That is a lot of
Yeah.
money.
At
for
18 years
sure.
old, I was like, okay.
What kind of shit was going down with that? I'm sorry, like this is like I want to go into it because I'm curious about this world. What kind of like weird stuff were people asking for at that time too?
Oh
like
my
I have
God.
to ask. You give me the shit everywhere. Why not ask?
Oh,
right?
wow.
I think my boy wants to know about like foot fetishes.
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Oh man, yeah.
Yo.
All that was going. All those questions were being asked on the phone. Yeah, I mean, you name it. Do you have a girl to come poop in my face? Kind of
Oh,
like for
what?
$1,000.
Yeah.
And the girls were like, I'm down.
Really?
2 hours, I'm gonna get $2,000. Hey, the guy was willing
And
to pay.
he was up for it. And he was
That's-
willing to
Yeah.
pay.
So to me, it was just like, hey, you know, the girls were like, hey, this was, and the first time they would go, they would like, oh wow, this was so simple, and then they got addicted to it, like you know, and so it was just like first they were nervous, and then it was
Yeah.
like, dude, this is quick money.
Yeah.
And you know, but I've never said any names about who
100%.
I had. You know, it was just that was a business that we had for a minute, and I mean, I had, like I said, I had politicians, I had attorneys, I had
Yeah. So it
everybody.
You were deep in that game.
Yeah,
Right.
and then I got into the other game, the drug game, and that, you know, that's how when I started going to prison. You
That's
know?
what led to that.
Yeah. But
Now-
Real quick, it wasn't
Go ahead.
even that kind of led to your prison sentences. It wasn't even that part of it.
no, it was just more money, and then meeting more people.
Got you.
Yeah.
You were probably building all these skills based off that first hustle you were doing.
Yeah.
Like, how were you like moving, like with that? Were you?
I was like, you know, people thought I was a stripper. Like everybody was like, oh, I'm a stripper, you know, I'm a stripper. But I mean, wasn't telling people, well, I'm doing, you know. So
Right.
basically that was my MO. I'm dancing, you know what I mean? And
Okay.
people would ask me like, well, where do you dance at? And I would like, oh, I dance at, you know, Sam's, and they would be like, well,
Sam's,
I
yeah.
let me go see you. So they would go and show up, and they were like, hey, And they would see me like a week later or a month later. Hey, I went to Sam's and I looked for you. You weren't
Yeah,
there.
you weren't
And
there.
I was like, oh, well, I went to Vegas. And so it was kind of, I was like, well, why never see you, you know? And
Right.
back then there was no social media like that. So
Right.
nobody ever like could prove that I was dancing, you know? Or,
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
That's true.
so-
Nobody could really be watching
Yeah,
like that.
No
yeah.
phones, no nothing. Definitely none
yeah,
of that.
so there was just word that I danced, but everybody's like, well, where? We don't.
Right.
Yeah,
So
so-
now you're doing this stuff, but you're also gang involved as well.
Yeah.
So there were separate occasions where activities that you were doing with that as well too,
Yes,
right?
it was, yeah.
What was that experience like for you?
It was just I was living three worlds. Like, I had my family life, I had, you know, the hustle life, and then I had the gang life. So it was just all like chaos.
Were you a mother at this time too? Or
Yes,
no?
yes.
Really? How? What age did you have your first baby?
I was 18 when I had my son.
Oh,
Yeah.
so all
Okay,
that
so
was
you're-
happening,
yeah.
and you had your son.
Yeah,
So you also had a,
yeah, but you know, it was just you know, I like I said, it was just chaos. Like, I was just a mess. Like, I wanted to do it all. Like, you know, take over the
Yeah,
world. You know,
right,
and
right.
and it just didn't happen like that. Everything just, you know, through going to prison just made everything crazy. And then like I was when I was doing the girls started getting involved in drugs. So that's how that ended. The girls started doing methamphetamine, and they were stuck already. Like, they weren't working anymore. They didn't want to make no money. I would call them, and it was like, hey, you got, you know, somebody's calling for you, la la la. And they wouldn't even pick up the phone. They were too busy getting high. So that's how the girls kind of fell out. You know, they started getting high, and
But even with that type of money, you would think that would encourage somebody to be like,
yeah.
I'm making fucking money that I
Exactly.
will never make probably at any 9 to 5.
but that
any-
meth
you
hit.
know?
That meth hit at that time, and that was it. It was over. Like, they didn't even care about money. They didn't care about looking good. They didn't care about anything. It's when
Got you.
drug addiction is crazy, you know.
So you
What,
saw
year,
that
what
impact,
years
yeah.
was this? Was this like early 90s, late 90s
Yeah,
or something like
yeah,
that?
early
Okay.
90s.
So definitely it hit. It took everybody by storm.
Yeah.
You started seeing people fixing their radios at 2 o'clock in the morning for no
Yeah.
reason, turning apart microwaves and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Tearing
That's
apart
how you know-
microwaves? I didn't even know about that.
I mean, shit, a
Man,
fridge if you
they
have
were
it.
being mechanics and fixing boats in the hood. Like, where'd you get this boat at? Like,
Right.
I was like, well, dude, you're a boat mechanic? When did you go to school? Like,
That's
yeah.
crazy. So okay, so now you are living these three worlds. You have so much chaos happening, like, and now you're also a mother, so you gotta support.
in college
Yeah.
too.
In
college.
you were still in
Still young.
college. at
Yeah, I
that
dropped out a
time,
year and a
like,
half later because I went to prison.
What did you want to do? What were you
I
going
wanted to
study?
go into criminal
question.
justice.
Ah,
It's
the-
crazy. I'm telling you, I lived in
irony,
it.
huh?
I
Yeah.
dreamed in it. I lived in really like a dream world. I was, you know, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, honestly, I didn't really have a plan. It was just at the moment, whatever. I didn't really have like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. People, you know, have plans. You know, this is what you do after college. I didn't have that. I didn't have structure. I just had. I need to make money. I need to take care of my family. It was at the
Gotcha.
moment. It was no structure.
So this may be an obvious question, but some people may answer this differently. If you had that structure, if someone told you, "Hey, this is how you plan your life out," do you feel like you would have still went down the same path you did there, or you would have
I
still
don't.
kept?
I don't think I would have. I think I would have made a different plan. I mean, I'm not making excuses for anything because I mean, I know people from the hood that became lawyers and became attorneys.
Right, 100%.
So there's no
Gotcha.
excuse for me. I chose just bad. Like, I didn't have no like a structure. Like I said, like someone to tell me, hey, well, you can't do that. You know, just I did whatever I wanted. So that's basically, nobody told me, no, don't do that. It was,
So what about like the hustle? Was there that also kind of intervened with that? And the reason I'm saying that is like, was there a plan? You know, most people are like, I'm gonna hustle this much to get out the hood.
Yeah.
And once I get the house or the down
Right.
payment, I'm done.
Okay.
That wasn't.
It was, and that's why when I went to prison, I was already making money, like I said, with the girls, and then I went to prison when I was in school, and then everything came down. So the plan was to have save money, but then what happens? I get busted, I got to bail out, and I got to pay attorney.
Yeah.
There goes some money, and then I go to prison, then I got to take care of the kid. You know, I get to take care of my mom, so that money went to her.
Yeah.
So then you come out to nothing again. So when you come out, again, you start thinking, what am I gonna do? I have no skills. I have no college. Nobody gave me an opportunity. Like, I would ask for jobs. People were like, what experience do you have? I have no experience. So I didn't. It was back to the same thing. Okay, I got to make some money tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to pay my rent tomorrow. And it was not that I wanted to do it again. It's that I had to at that moment because I didn't have I couldn't get a job at that moment. I needed all these bills paid, and you know, I come out and you know, I need this. I need a car. So what I know how to do was easy money, so that's what I did.
I'm just glad you're mentioning that because it just shows that this is somewhat, in a way, it could be preventable as long as you have that structure and you have
The
plan.
guidance.
Someone
you
can
know,
guide
the
you.
guidance.
You need a lot. Kids need. Yeah, you do.
Did you have like a role model at this time, or were you your own role model?
I was my own role model.
Yeah.
And I like girls in the hood all looked up to me. Everybody was like, "Oh, that's Jen." It was like boss, boss.
Really?
Yeah, so everybody was like, and I give a lot of good advice to people, but I never take my own advice. I'm one of those. I self-sabotage myself. So I don't ever take my own advice. Like I could give you the best advice for your life, and my life is fucked up.
Fucking tumbling.
Like,
I
dude,
get what you're
like,
saying.
can I take my own advice? But like I said, nothing ever falls into place because I need, my car broke down. Now I need some money to do this. So now what I do is I get pallets, I flip them. I sell collectible toys. I do what I can do. I'm still a hustler. Like I
I
said.
was gonna say that, like you're still keeping that,
But,
you
I'm
can
not
tell your
doing anything
hustle is
crazy,
strong.
illegal,
You're still
and-
able to,
Yeah.
maintain that. Yeah.
Your networking
I'm
skills, too.
interested. So you went to prison twice, right?
Yeah.
That's part of your journey.
Prison and
What was
county.
it like the first time being 18, 19, 20 years old? Like
Yeah.
facing time and out of nowhere, right? Because
Yeah.
things are going well, you're making money. What is that experience for a young,
Right.
pretty girl, college, had a bunch of things going on, hustles, and it all comes down that first time?
It was a mess. I mean, I was just like, wow. Like first time being in prison. I mean, I knew I was headed that way because I mean,
you
being
know,
a
okay.
being
You
a
know.
being a gang member, eventually what's gonna happen, and you're ready for that. Like, okay, I'm gonna hit prison. So it was not like I was scared or nothing. Like I knew. I know a lot of girls that were already in there, and because I being in the game, I knew girls that were in and out of prison and in and out of jail. So when I hit, I was just like, okay.
You knew how to move. As
Yeah,
soon as
I
you
knew how
went
to
in.
move. Yeah, I didn't know how to move that much because I got caught. But I did know. I knew street life. I knew street life. I knew how to function in college. I mean, like I said, I'm a very humble person. I could talk to someone, a CEO, and be the same person. I talk to. I'm just always I'm a people person. So I got along with everybody pretty much.
What was it like? Just like a real quick to backtrack, the day that you got busted, was it something like you just they raided the house?
Yeah.
Or like what was that like?
They were following me.
Oh, okay, I
Yeah,
see.
and so they raided me, and
And they got you. Right
yeah,
then.
they got me.
So they already been tracing some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So now tell us your experience going in the first time, and what that was like for you. I mean, Loki, even as a female perspective, because I don't know, we've had some females on here.
Yeah, we've had a couple, so it's dope to get the perspective of
Right.
what you guys go through.
Yeah. Well, you go in there, I went to CIW, and
Real quick, what about the county jail process?
county
Did you
jail.
go to Linwood or?
Yeah,
did
I
you
went
go
to Linwood. We all go to
Okay.
Linwood, and Linwood was fighting your case, and then you go upstate. Linwood was, I mean, just a mess. Everybody there is just Linwood was just. I'd rather you go to prison is way better than county.
So everybody says.
Yeah.
So even for Linwood, the girls, because I know for dudes, the talk is when you get upstate, cheaper packages, cheaper everything,
Yeah.
or whatever, hot pots.
Right.
Was that the talk? Same thing in Linwood for the girls? Like, hey, you want to get out of here. You don't want to be in the county. You want to.
Yeah, you just want to go
Yeah.
to prison. Everybody was like, hurry up, catch the when you catch the chain, let's go. It takes you like 3 weeks to catch the chain. So you're ready to go upstate. You hit upstate. I hit CIW. I got off the bus. Right up when I got off the bus, I got into a fight with one of the negras.
No way.
Really?
Yeah. So right away I got into a fight when I got off the bus because she stepped on my foot and she didn't say sorry. So I took flight, and then
Where'd you pick up that game to take flight though when somebody steps on your shoe?
That part.
Oh, that's crazy. That was just growing up in the
You're not
neighborhood.
fucking with me. You can't. You know what I mean? Like, I look like this, but I don't. Just respect is everything for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
100%.
you gotta respect people. The way you come at people is the way they're gonna come at you.
Very true. Very true.
So what was that experience like now being on the yard and stuff like that in there?
Well, I was in the yard maybe, like I said, for maybe a week, and then I got in a fight, and then I got a shoe term, and then I went to ADSEC, and then I came back. I started a riot, and I got a shoe term, and then I spent the rest of my time back there in shoe. So I didn't really get to hit the yard too long because I was back
it
there.
was
Yeah.
back to back.
Yeah. So my mom was like, hey, she's not calling. She had to call the prison to see where was I, and yeah, I was in the back. She had to come see me behind glass. And so, yeah, it was just, but I liked being back there because I didn't have to deal with the drama with the girls and get into fight. To me, it was alone time was better for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the same time, you still like the not being having the trouble, but as far as being in the shoe, like, did you feel like mental health wise, like, were you still like, yo, this is fucking, like, I don't know, like, were you feeling some kind of way at all?
Yeah. You feel it feels crazy in there, because you're just like, no, locked doors in here. You don't know what to do. You count every brick in that wall. Um, I mean, I wrote letters. Like I was writing letters. I was, just doing that. That's about it. Exercising in there, doing my burpees in my cell.
Shit, you were doing that
okay,
too.
there's
Yeah,
burpees too.
I was doing my
Okay.
sit-ups.
That's
But,
nuts.
I mean, there's not much to do in there. I got a couple books, so people were sending me books, and the COs were, you're not supposed to have razors in there, but I got people were slipping in
What happened?
razors to me.
Yeah.
I got hooked up in there. The COs were really nice to me in there. They brought me, whatever I wanted, vodka,
Yeah.
whatever. So.
And at the time, it was probably like home packages still, or no?
Yeah, there was packet. No, they were from Walking Horse.
Oh, okay. You already had to go to Walking Horse. Or
Yeah. But in the back, you don't get anything. You know, you're
Got
in
you.
shoe. You're punished kind of. So
Right,
you don't.
pretty much.
They send
is-
you stuff,
yeah.
but they would save it for me. So when I got out, and then they would give me my stuff. But yeah,
That's
how
what
I
it was.
back
How
there.
much time did you go up there with?
I did.
What they sentenced you to?
It was 8 with half, so I did 4.
8 years with half.
Yeah.
What if you don't mind me asking, what was the charge that they charged you with?
Sales.
Sales.
Big-
So 8
big
years
sales.
for that back in the day for sales. Oh well, tough on crime laws came about.
Yeah,
They were
it was really
striking
tough
people
back
out
then.
at this time, and that's probably where those crazy sentences for drug offenses came about. Was that so?
Yeah.
That was when people were getting years for crack, right? Crack was worse
Yeah,
than
yeah, yeah.
cocaine, all that type of shit, right?
Yeah, but like now it's not like that. I mean, Gascon, he's good. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
I like Gascon.
Should I cuss? Nah. Yo, no. Okay.
Well, you know what? With that being said, it's because there's, I guess you can say a paradigm shift is what they call it.
Yeah.
And so now it's going more towards preventative measures or just dealing with the people that are already hooked, right? And so
Yes.
they're like, fuck, does somebody that's getting high and steals a TV, yes, he got caught with dope, but do we give him, like that crazy time they were giving out back in
Yeah.
the day? If it's not really going to help them. But then again, you think about the crime,
Yeah,
Do
and
you-
they
do
were
you-
even getting time for weed. Like I got time for weed, selling
that
weed.
right?
I
No
mean,
way.
it's like now it's like
It's nothing. It's
it's
like
nothing.
No shame,
So they
yeah.
owe me.
Yeah, pretty
Back
much.
some years.
Give me back some years. Yeah.
So with that, you had your experience. You were in there. You did half. You said 4 years.
Yeah.
You were still, and you had your baby still. So how old was your baby when you were about to get out?
About,
Because I want to get
4?
the mother perspective. Like, what was
about
that
4
mother
years old.
perspective for you?
4
Like
or 5.
4 or 5. Okay.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? Like
My
what-
mom, she helped me. Thank God, she's my
Uh-huh.
rock, my queen. She's my rock. She's
That's
been there
good.
for
So
me.
moms was there through all your
Through the
journey.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it wasn't for her, they would have been in the system.
The bus
Gotcha.
rides over there for visits, all
Yeah,
that stuff.
she did all that. Yeah.
Damn, shout out to moms for
Shout
sure.
out to
Yeah,
moms.
shout
That's one
out.
thing we talk about. Like
Love
at
you,
the end
Mom.
of the day, there you go. At the end of the day, it's like family is a big component to when you're incarcerated. Like a lot of people burn bridges with family members and things like that. Not that you should keep family around in case you get incarcerated, but more so like those are the people that always look out for you.
Yeah.
So why would you want to do something to them that would hurt them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank
You
God I
know?
had some good friends as well. I had very good
Okay.
friends that have my back no matter what, and I could count them in my hand, but they were there for me as well.
That's good.
Yeah. thank
So
God.
while you were upstate, did you at any point in time of those 4 years, did you ever think, where the college courses at? Where the programs at? Was that ever?
I asked and I called people like from the outside. I would tell them, hey, because you had to call on the phone from the
Okay,
outside. You
okay.
couldn't do it from the inside. So I would have them ask, questions about programs, and there was no programs. They would just give you the runaround. Yeah, we're gonna give you a program. There was nothing funded in the yard. There was no. There was like a SAP program, and I think they gave you like 2.5 weeks off. So everybody did the SAP. Like, hey, let's
You
do
had to,
SAP
like,
program.
you
Yeah,
haven't
you're
done
gonna
it,
want.
why
You
not?
want.
Which is a substance abuse.
I think it was
right?
6 weeks off. I'm not sure.
It's a good amount
Yes,
of time.
yeah. So everyone did SAP because you wanted to get out 6 weeks prior. So everybody did that, and that's all they had. They didn't have no type of college courses, and I think that's what I would have took. I think, and I would have came out with something, at least a certificate. I mean, for doing all that time, I have nothing to show. But I mean, no, I'm not glorifying this time I did either. It's just, like I said, ain't nobody proud of this. It's not a lifestyle.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad to hear that you definitely would have took advantage of it if they
Oh,
would have been there,
definitely. Yeah.
Because I don't care, like, even if you're active or even if whatever and you're doing the most in there, you're still sitting there. Why not read a book pick up some courses, get a couple certificates, right? It's if it's there, but I get it, man.
Right. Yeah.
So how was it like towards the end of that 4 years where you're about to get out? Where was your mind at that point?
My man, I was like, I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna go back to school. You know, like everybody jail talk. You know.
Is that what that is?
I mean, jail. You know, you think you're gonna change the world when you get out. I come out. Well, again, here I go. I need money right away. I need a car. I need to get on my feet. I didn't come from a rich family, you know. Nobody was there to help me out to say, hey, you know, Jane has a car.
Everything was the same when you got out.
Same, you know, and here I go again, doing the same old thing. And there I go again, getting busted again. I mean, I wasn't even out probably like 3 weeks.
Oh, no way, really?
So it was like, that's why I say I did 9 years, but it was all back to back. It seemed like a straight 9 years.
Technically, it's a whole straight line.
Yeah, there I go, another 4 years.
So you didn't even catch a violation. You went straight
No
to
violations.
another crime.
I never did a violation, no.
Really?
God.
You didn't even get the chance to do it.
No, and I
So
was
how
like,
old were you when you got out?
man.
The first time?
I was about 20 years old.
Oh, man. So I get it. You're still young where
It's like,
you come back out and you're like, man, they've locked me up for a little bit. I need to.
So
and all your homegirls are partying and shit.
Yeah, everybody's
doing
having
all
a good
that.
time. And
And
I, you know, first thing I'm thinking is just make money, you know, and here I go back again, another 4 years for the same thing, sales and gun charge.
This is the one where you got on a riot, or was it the last?
This is the second term.
The second term when okay.
I got busted maybe 3 weeks later.
So
and
3
because
weeks,
3 weeks later. Oh my God, who does that?
So did you even have enough time to like get something going, like to really?
Oh no!
with
I mean,
3
I was
weeks,
trying
right?
to, and then like I made my move, and here I go. Somebody ratting on me again. It was always a rat. It's like,
So we all just
I
catch
should have
you.
learned the first time.
I hope was your brain already thinking like, man, if this is what the game is, it's probably not smart to just keep going because it's not going to turn out well. There's always going to be somebody that's going to point or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, in my head, I was just like, you know, I made a wrong move. You know, you think you get a little smarter, but it's just the game. It's a game.
The outcome is prison, jail, death. Those are the outcomes.
Yeah, those are the outcomes.
There's no like sugarcoating that, right?
No, there's not.
The second term, you go back to
Man.
the same spot, or no, you go to a different place?
I went to Chowchilla.
Okay, is that still going? That place is not.
No, it's still there.
It's
Yeah,
still there?
Chowchilla's still the women's prison, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
It's CIW and Chowchilla.
Yeah.
So what was that experience going into now a new pen? And have you
Right.
had heard about that while you were? But it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Rolled her
like
eyes
you didn't
already.
even
She
get
said,
out.
"Oh,
Yeah.
what the-"
And living with like 8 girls in one cell is just not the business.
man.
Damn, that
There's-
is nuts.
There's 8 periods. You know what I mean?
Oh my
Yeah,
God!
yeah.
You're
So you
right,
could just
yeah.
imagine all the craziness in there. It was just too much. I was fighting, just fights after fight after fight.
This is the one where it's kind of like they have double beds, right, or something
Yeah.
like that. You guys are all in one room.
Yeah,
So
all in one
I
room.
remember that they were talking about it last time. I don't know if it was Larissa. She said you guys all have a system too. Like, I gotta clean.
Everybody has to pick up their hair, you know.
Okay, I see.
There's
So
no
the
hair
same
on the
idea.
floor.
That one gets me. I live with my girl, and I hate that hair on the floor. No matter what you do, there's always hair on
Really?
the
I
floor.
hate that too. It's like
Yes.
my pet peeve, like no hair.
That shit pissed me off. Once the shower starts getting clogged, now I'm like,
Whoa,
yo.
yes.
I'm like, I gotta fix this shit now. No, I'm saying, but now with that being said, you're in there. You're with 8 other people.
Oh God.
It's a whole bunch going on.
Yeah, it's a bunch of
What's
Lot
the,
of
what's the
personalities.
experience that happened with that?
Basically just a lot of bullying. People were doing a lot of bullying. Like the Paisa girls, you know, that didn't get taking their stuff. I'm not with that, you know. I was defending people. Like my program wasn't like that, you know. You have respect for people, and that's how you get. I do my time respect, and I was being taken care of, so I didn't go to need. You know, I had everything, my store,
You didn't need to ask for
everything. I did my program, but there I go, ad sick, getting in trouble, going back to. It was better than being in that 8 prison cell. So I just fighting and go to AdSec, and I spend my time by myself.
Damn.
Yeah,
that.
because I was used to being by myself already.
Yeah.
So I say that's the best, you know, the way to do time is alone. Because all these women, I'm gonna catch a life sentence in there. I was gonna catch a life sentence,
Damn.
literally. Yeah, it's just too much.
Now you were there still like opportunities like did the college stuff start coming in here too or at all?
No,
Or
nothing
Still
back there either. No.
What year was the second term? Like more or less what years?
What 28? I was 20. So I was 28. So I don't know.
Oh,
4
okay,
years after.
okay,
4 years
so-
after.
Okay.
90. I was already.
So the
That's
2000s
nuts. So
though,
definitely,
like,
Yeah,
early
2000s.
Yeah, so I guess it's, you could say, again, I'm not from that era, but I've studied the literature on prison reform, all that. There weren't that many programs at that stage. I think
No.
California at the time didn't designate any funds at the time. They were still functioning under 3 strikes, you're out.
Yeah.
Tough on crime, you know what I mean?
I mean, there was parenting classes. I mean, that's all, domestic violence and anger management.
Which is
But I mean,
good.
we don't need that. I mean, we needed some education in there.
Okay.
You know,
I see.
I think women, you know, there was, I think back when I think in 2010 there was like beauty school for girls to get their certificate to do beauty.
Okay, yeah, like a cosmetology
Yeah, like a
thing.
cosmetology
Okay.
class. I don't know how that ended up. If anybody that I know got it, but I know there was that going on there. That's it that I know.
Yeah, so the whole time you're there was nothing that stood out. Like,
No.
you know what? If I do X, Y, and Z, I could change, or there may be an opportunity. None of that.
None of that stuff.
Damn, that sucks. It sucks to have been in that era.
Well,
Yeah.
my question is, because I know it's fucking crazy ass stories about it. What kind of crazy ass stories are happening with the COs out there with the women? That
They're all
this is a
fucking the
question.
girls.
like,
No way.
like
Is that
how
really
is
a
it really
thing?
that intense?
Dude,
as happening?
yes. Girls were getting pregnant in the yard. You know what I mean?
Fucking nuts.
And then a lot of there was a couple suicides.
What
On whose
really?
on whose side?
CIW we had a suicide. Chachula had a suicide. There was
On the inmates or the deputies?
the inmates, the girls. Yeah,
Damn.
some girls couldn't. They couldn't hang doing so much time. So it's depression.
That is one
sad.
thing too. Emotion probably hits hard with the women.
With
If-
women, yeah, you could. When I was in SHU, all I heard was screaming at night, like crying for their moms, like little girls. It was like, I'd be like, shut the fuck up, I can't sleep.
Yeah.
I know they were going through some stuff, but
Yeah.
like, it was just women are, they're not strong as men.
I get what you're saying with that. That's nuts though. To be able to hear some shit like that too. Like
Yeah.
even if you hear it out here, you worry. Like
Yeah.
but to be hearing that all the
It
time.
was like a
day
mental
in, day
hospital
out.
and SHU, like just screaming at night and girls banging on the walls and there's just a lot
So
of
would
you're in
you
a-
say that it didn't work? Solitary confinement didn't work for you, and for that population that you were with at the time?
I mean, it didn't work as far as. What do you mean? It didn't
Like
work?
trying to I guess change you or make you
No,
calm down.
it doesn't
Rehabilitate
change you. That
rehabilitate
doesn't
you.
change you. No, I
Right.
think that makes you more of a savage, being locked up, like caged up
Slamming
like
you
that.
down.
Yeah, because now I have like anxiety problems. Like I can't be in a room for too long. I want to get up and go.
Yeah.
Like I can't be in my house for too long. And people are like, where are you going? I just need to go. Like it doesn't matter. I want to go to either wherever, to the market, down to the liquor
Just
store.
keep yourself
I
from-
just need to get out of the house
Yeah.
because I have that the anxiety because
Yeah.
being caged up like that for so long and I just want to get out.
100%. Now
Yeah.
you start getting to the end of that sentence. Did anything start changing then?
The same thing. I started, hey, I want to go to school. It was always I want to go back to school, and it never happened. It never, like I said, I needed to do money, make money, and that was always my only problem. Like if I knew if I had some like $20,000 saved, then it would have been cool. Hey, I could go to school, and I'm comfortable, and I didn't have to worry about being the breadwinner again.
Right.
So I was never like that. So here I go again from scratch, and I'm just gonna do a little bit, and then
That's
try
what
to
happens.
save, and the same thing, and get out. And it
Again.
never happened.
So you got out and you started going back to
Same
participating
thing,
and doing
yeah.
some stuff. And things are still the exact same way.
The
Nothing's
same
different.
way. The same way.
How long was it till you got yourself in trouble again?
Again, maybe like a year later, I got a year for a gun. I'm driving. I have a gun in my lap, and I did a county year for that. And then after that, I went on a high-speed chase. Like after that year, I got out again, and I was with my friends. Somebody, it was in the harbor area.
What is that adrenaline?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it
yeah.
is nuts. A high speed chase trips me out. How long did you go for?
It was in San Pedro,
Uh-huh.
so it's only one way in. There's not one way out at San Pedro. I didn't know. I forgot. I didn't know that. I forgot when I went in there that there was no way out. Like there's only one way in, and there's the ocean. Like you're not going anywhere else. So I went over there and did some transactions, and there was a cop coming, and the person I had in the car was a gang member, and they recognized the gang member in the car, and he told me, "That's it. That cop knows me. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?" He starts throwing stuff out the window, like right in front of the cop.
Right in
like,
front of the cop.
And the cop got out and grabbed whatever he threw out the window, and
it's
so
already
then
evidence.
he's like, "Take off." There I go. You gotta say no more. So there I go, taking off. So I'm going down gassy, like 100. I was in a Charger. I had a Charger at the time. 100 miles an hour. Here I go. And then he's like,
pulling.
so I'm going around in little streets, and I'm like, how do I get out of here? You know, he's like, you just, you know, because he told me to make a right on a certain street. So I make a right on a certain street, and then I'm like, what do I, you know, he says like, and I go, you know what? He's like, he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get off the car, and I'm going to run. And I said, okay. So he goes, you need to stop on the next street. So there I go, I stop. So he gets off the car, he tumbles, you know.
He throws himself out.
Yeah, he throws himself
while the car
out.
was
Like,
moving.
right when I stop, like, he's already ready to jump out the door.
Oh, shit.
So he stumbles, and he gets up, and he starts running. So I stopped the car, and so I got, you know, that was it. I'm not going to go anywhere. So they, you know, so they caught him, like, maybe, like, 5 minutes later, the dogs caught him under an apartment building.
Shit.
And yeah, he took the rap while, you know, it was his, and he took the rap, and yeah, he ended up getting 5 years for whatever he was caught with, and I got a year for that, and then
That's nuts.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
man.
That is nuts. And
Yeah.
you could have kept going, huh? But
Yeah.
like, you said fuck that. No,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take this shit
Yeah.
now.
So after that was it. I haven't got
Yeah.
busted since, and
Thank God.
thank God. I've been trying to, you know, live a good life and not do anything. You know,
So
I'm
that
not
one
supposed to
year
do.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
where
What
it
happened in that
happened.
1
Yeah.
year where you're like, because it had to do something, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you haven't been back since.
I got older.
You got- just
I
out of
said,
nowhere,
I'm
just
not a
quick.
kid no more, even though I act like a kid and I think I'm a kid sometimes. I'm not a kid no more. Like, this is too much already. Like, grow up already. I had to check myself. Like, dude, this is not what it is. This is not what
Did
it is.
something click in there? Was this something you saw, or were you exposed to something? You're like, damn, I couldn't
It's just
do
my
this.
family. Just thinking about my mom,
go.
and just
Yeah.
that was, you know, my mom was. I said I can't do this to her no more. You know,
And
that's
she was
it.
looking out for the baby and
Yeah,
stuff
like
that.
I can't no more. And I have to get out of this. And
Enough is enough.
yeah, enough is enough. So I got out. I said, hey, I started looking for resources. Like, what do I do? Like PV jobs. You know, PV jobs helped me a lot
Nice.
and give me a couple of experiences. And you know, to be a receptionist or to I learned the
Right.
basics. You know,
Uh-huh.
starting fresh. Like I said, I didn't have a job, so I got some experience from them and volunteering. I started doing volunteer work.
Yeah, yo, shout out
Contrib-
to Jen for sure because she does
Seriously, yeah.
volunteer. Like, though she was with PV Jobs, every year we do a turkey giveaway. She was here doing it. Like, you were helping out in the AM. Like,
Yeah,
5 in the
yeah.
morning, she was
Yeah.
already helping us unload the turkeys. And I tell you, we get 800 turkeys. It is nuts. So she is helping us unload it, giving back. We've
Yeah.
also helped us out with a few other stuff
Yes.
too. The FEC events, you've come and helped
Right,
out.
right.
Things like that. And we appreciate you for that because you are giving
Thank
back
you.
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was last year when there was no turkeys.
Yeah.
You came through. You're a staple in the community, and,
Yes.
and you
Right.
reached out to your folks, and you
Yes,
came through with
I
a
have
truckload.
a friend, yeah, and he
you know?
was like, "Hey, you guys want some turkeys?" And I said, "Hey, let me call PV Jobs, see if they need some." And yeah, I said, "Let's go.
Good, yeah.
We got some turkeys for you guys." And
What kind of
Yeah.
other volunteer work are you doing other than the
well, I was working for the Crippled Children's Society.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was
Yes,
going.
yeah.
I would go get toys. Like I would go to the Salvation Army, get a bunch of little, toys for the kids. Stuffed animals that people gave me. And go to the Cancer Society on Sunset.
When you do this, like, what are you feeling? Are you feeling like you're more like this is what you owe back to the community, or do you
I just feel
like
good
this-
doing it, even though I don't have it like that. But I think it's the little things that matter. Like I feel good about it. Even though I'm not rich, so obviously it's like I just feel good. I want to be like that if I had money. Like I would help everybody. That's how I
yeah,
am.
right,
So it's
right.
like I just feel good doing it. Like it does.
great.
I don't do it like for anything. Like I didn't even have social media to this year. Like I never, I don't do it for, hey, people, give something, they want to put it on social media.
Yeah.
Like I do things and people just know about it, like I just do it for me.
And
But I
the
like
whole-
kids.
That's deep. Like not having social media up until a year ago, like that means
Yeah.
you haven't really fed too deep into the
No,
stuff
I
that comes
never
with it,
liked social media like that. It's just this year I got it because, like I said, I wanted to network myself. Like, I started modeling, doing hair shows, and that's how I got all my, contacts through social media was because I made an Instagram. Everybody would producers were like, "Do you have an Instagram?" And I'm like, "No, they don't look at portfolios no more. They just want to know if you have an
wanna
IG."
know your IG,
So I
huh?
started my IG, and I said, "Hey, why not?" And that's how I started getting all these modeling gigs and stuff. And
I know they want to know. What's
The
your
IG.
IG? What's your IG? Give it to them right now. We'll put it in the description too.
Jan Cefalu.
Okay, for sure. We'll put
Yeah.
it in the description for sure.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
you're exposing yourself. Social media is another crazy thing to work
Yeah.
with too. Like you're probably barely even on the tip end of getting to expose yourself on there
Yes.
and really put yourself out there and network.
Yeah.
Because you are already great at doing it on your own.
Yeah.
Like networking and stuff like that. How is it as far as like for so you're doing like the toy hustles, things like, are you reselling these other
Yeah, I'm
toys? You're
reselling,
doing
buying
model
pallets,
stuff?
reselling.
What is your ultimate goal right now as far as for yourself? Like, what do you want to do? Did you want to get into the entertainment world, start doing movies, shows, things like that? What do you want to do?
Yes, I want to do that. Like I want to go
Those
into
novelas.
baddies. Where's baddies? Zeus Network.
There you go.
Let's go.
I mean, anything like, I mean, we need a reality show for Latinas, you know, like
That'd
baddies
be
has their,
dope.
yeah. I mean,
You're so right. There's nothing out there.
There's nothing for
It's like
Latinas.
Housewives of Atlanta is like shit like that, but
Yes.
nothing for Housewives of Boyle.
Yes.
Like Boyle Heights, like
The
that'd be
Desperate-
wild.
it's called
That'd
the
be
Desperate
nuts.
Housewives from Boyle Heights.
That's funny. That is funny.
Right.
There,
Hey,
Yeah.
people don't know Boyle Heights has what, $2 million homes now?
Yes.
It's
oh
one
my
of the most
God.
expensive areas you can
Yeah.
get. So it could work.
yes.
I wish I owned one.
Shit, right.
But yeah,
Thinking
that's-
back, well, doesn't that suck, right? A lot of the neighborhoods that we grew up in, if we would have brought property
Yes.
in the
If
beginning,
you would've brought
we would have
property.
been property owners
we
in
would have
$1
been
million neighborhoods.
Yes, like I'm saying, we didn't have no structure. We didn't know about
didn't
things
know
like
about
that.
yeah.
You know, like if we
Yeah.
had some structure like that, like educate these kids and let them know that they can do that at 18, go buy a property and fix
Right.
their credit. And
yeah.
you know, we didn't know about credit. You know, like
And
that
now
was-
it's
definitely,
so different, and now you
Yeah.
can't tell these kids like, "All right, still go get your property," because that's kind of the mindset a lot of people are still giving. But it's not that easy anymore. You
No.
can't do that. You got to find now it's a hustle.
Yeah.
Now it's a business. It's now something like
Right.
that. If do you have a
Yeah.
business yourself like now?
I resell. So like I said, I have
Okay, it's the resale
merchandise.
thing.
I sell merch.
Okay.
So I have like my little store. You know, my own little
Do
store.
you have like a?
That's fire.
Do you have a online like Etsy or something?
no,
like that? that you sell your stuff?
eBay. I have eBay.
Okay.
Yeah, so I sell everything through eBay or OfferUp. I have OfferUp too.
Shit, put
Offer
it out
works.
there.
That's
Yeah,
quick
put
money
it
to
out
make
there.
it
We'll slap
happen,
that
you
out
know?
there, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Does eBay have profiles too? I don't know. My bad. Does
Yeah,
eBay
yeah.
has like
Your
whole
profiles you can
profile,
look
you
at?
have your
Oh,
ratings,
shit, I
your
didn't know
stars.
that.
Yeah, I have
People
my
make a
little
living off eBay.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
because it's a full time job. That's the problem. People buy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They'll sell 3 items and they realize you got to package it.
Yeah.
You got to take it to the
Yes.
post office. You got to take
Fucking
50
expensive, too.
pictures. And
Yes.
so people don't really see it as a bit. But if you make it a business and you put in 8 hours a day, you can make something from that.
100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm interested. You got out, you went to the shoe, you did all these things, you've been isolated, the prison. How was that in interacting at places like car shows and like having to show
Oh,
up to these
yeah.
gigs with different people and new people and cameras?
Well, to me, I like the spotlight. Like, I'm not shy. I mean, I'm shy a little bit when I'm in front of my friends, like a clown all day. But when it comes to a camera, I get all like, you know, I start getting
Right, right.
nervous. But I didn't have no problem. Like, people always like welcome me. Hey, what's up? Hey, Jen, what's up?
Okay.
I mean, we never had a problem. You know,
And
unless
you were comfortable with the camera though too, just like being
no,
in the camera.
What was that
I'm
like?
just.
Yeah, take us.
I
What's a
get
modeling
stage
gig like?
fright. I get like, oh yeah, I'm not used to cameras. You know, I'm spotlight. Like I could, like I
Right,
said, I'm
right.
real when I'm talking and I could talk. But when there's something looking at me, it's like I feel like, you know,
Yeah.
who's looking at me?
Right,
You
right,
get stuck. You know. And
So
I think,
how's your modeling gigs going? Your modeling gigs, like, is it something like is there something weird that like? Do you ever feel like some kind of way where you just want to walk out or
No,
anything like that?
everybody-
Did you ever have any experiences like
no,
that?
everyone's been pretty nice to me. You know,
Okay,
I
that's
don't know. That I do my hair shows. I've been doing a lot of hair shows for hair
Nice.
products and modeling. Yeah, I mean not too much, but like I said, it's been good. I haven't had no bad experiences.
I didn't know they had hair shows. Like
Yeah.
it's like an expo, like a just,
Yeah,
like, hair
different.
stuff?
Yeah, different people that I know that hairstylists. They're doing expo hair shows, and I
that's
go
nuts.
and they pay me like do a hair show, once a week, twice a week.
And then how's the car show scene? Like I'm not too familiar with that, but what's the car show scene?
I'm not
like?
really into the car show scene at all. Like I
Okay.
go to the events and stuff, but I don't do any modeling for them or nothing like that. So I mean, there's no money in it, you know. I mean, unless
Oh,
you're
okay.
you're
I
a big
see.
influencer, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
But there's no.
You got to get to what, like the lowrider level to make some money off that or no?
I don't even think there's that much money in
Gotcha,
being a
not even
lowrider
in.
model. I don't think so. I think
Really?
it's exposure for them, but I don't know if there's that much money in it.
I do feel like the way I see it, low key, the lowrider shit is so dope. Like I see that's a big thing in Boyle Heights. That culture is so dope. Like that's just badass.
Yeah, I love lowriders.
But what I see, I see it's like it's
Yeah.
just like that love, that culture love. It's not like they're not trying to profit off it like crazy or anything like that. It's like, yo,
Yeah.
this is what our people love. Like
Yeah,
this is what we do. This is our
what we do.
enjoyment,
Yeah.
our entertainment, right?
Yeah.
sense, yeah.
So that's super dope. Now, what other kind of exposure are you trying to get as far as like maybe for just the future in general? Like what other kind of stuff?
Well, I want to open up my nonprofit.
Oh,
one
look at that.
one day, or just help people like out there. Go out to the maybe go out to the prisons and talk to the girls. I don't know if I could do that. Right now, like I did a video with Becky G. And Eva Longoria, she directed it. It was like for the
Did you
Flaming
meet her?
Heart.
Fire.
Yes, I met
What
her.
was that like? Yo, tell
She's
us
really
Becky-
cool. She's very
too,
beautiful,
low-key.
very
Yeah,
nice.
she's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So I did that.
Is she
It
short?
hasn't came out yet. She's not short. No.
No?
I don't think she's short. No.
I saw her at Coachella. She
She's
looked
like
kinda- she
she's
looked
probably
kinda
like
short.
5'6".
Okay.
Yeah, she's beautiful. She's
I'm gonna be
very
honest.
nice.
I don't really follow. That's not like my crowd. I don't really follow that stuff.
Yeah.
But I know
Go in the
everybody's
comments
into
and get mad at
Becky G.
Damion.
Yeah,
Who
I
doesn't
know.
know Becky G?
Yeah.
My kid
It's
tells me the
Becky
same
G.
thing. Like Becky G. You don't
Yo.
know who Becky G is? I'm like,
Yeah, she's really nice.
Yeah.
And Eva Longoria is very humble person, very beautiful. I met her, and so I did that. It hasn't came out yet, but it was for the Flaming Hot movies. So I did that, and hopefully when it comes out, I get a little bit of exposure. And
What
It's
was that
amazing.
experience
It's
like
amazing.
too? Like being in that. Now this is probably like full.
I loved it.
production.
Like I
was
felt like I
full
belonged
production.
there. Like this is what I want to do. Like this was my calling. Like I
Were
want
they
to
like
be in
doing
the
your makeup
movies.
and shit, like things
yeah,
like that?
like
They're
I want to
like-
be in movies. Like I want to do something, and I like that. Yeah, and it's not even for the money. It's I just like to I
You
want to
love the
do that.
spotlight.
Yeah.
You love the spotlight.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, too, were you able to network out there too? Like, was networking a possibility when you did this? Or
No, because I didn't really want to bother people right there. Like,
see.
hey, I mean, I met everybody that was there. I shook everybody's hand, hey, but I didn't really, got their Instagrams and stuff like that.
Right,
Okay.
But I didn't really, like, oh, here's my phone number, because it's, people they're working. I don't, want to bother anybody. Like, call me, they're gonna say, "Well, you gotta go to a casting agent, and I'll call them through you." You don't
Yeah,
really.
it's a lot.
Oh,
You
okay,
can't,
yeah,
yeah.
at that stage, people
Yeah,
are doing it a little
they'll
different.
call your casting agent or stuff, but they don't really want to. Here's my phone number. Call me personally. It doesn't work that way, and how it's about. I mean, unless you're connected, like I said, your family is connected. Maybe they'll call you like that, but it's all about who you know in Hollywood sometimes. But I don't know anybody like that.
Let me
so.
ask you something. I feel like you weren't one of those people. I feel like you were there to really enjoy and soak it in and participate.
Yeah.
But was there like competitiveness in there? Like, were there girls like trying to be in front of the camera more than others? Like, bitch, get the fuck out of here.
No,
Like, let me
it
be
was
here. Like,
no,
yeah.
it was organized. It was very organized. Everyone was really
Okay,
sweet.
okay.
Yeah, everyone knew their. You stay here, you walk here. Everyone had their own little position. So no, it was nothing like that. Everyone was very sweet.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
for
dope.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes it very comfortable. Yeah, very nothing bad.
Nothing out
No
of the ordinary.
negativity. No negativity.
Yeah, fuck. I don't fuck with that negative energy.
We like positive vibes,
100%.
Yeah.
So that must have been. That's a wild experience to be able. How did you get that? You just knew somebody that was.
Yes, I had a friend who just,
new
he
people.
told me, hey, come down. I said, okay,
Why
I'm
not?
there. Thank
That's
God.
good.
Hey, and I'm glad that you jump on those opportunities. Some people may second guess it. And
No,
be
you call me,
So
I'm
you-
there.
yeah.
Like even when you guys call me for little things that you guys have going on, I'm like, hey, I need to go. You know what I mean? I have nothing else to do. Let's go. If I'm not selling, like my merchandise, hey, I'll go. Because like I said, I need the experience. I want to be out there. Maybe I'll meet somebody at that moment, hey, that could get me put me in somewhere, or get me in a good position or job. Or you never know, when
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that's super important. You touched on it, and I'm glad that you value that, the networking aspect of pretty much anything. Once you get into adulthood, you realize 80-90% of anything, pursuing a job, making a connection, is about who you know. And so,
Right.
you got to break out of that shell, and you got to go rub elbows, shake hands. You have to.
You have to, yeah.
It's a job too, right? To
Yes.
be out there. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
said,
100%.
you're just like, ugh. Do I want to go? No, but you probably should if you
Yeah.
want to build connections.
Because
and
you never
network.
know. Yeah.
You never know.
You never know.
The homegirls that they used to like do all the hustling and stuff back when you were younger, like what's that like now with them? Are they all incarcerated? Like,
No, a lot of them, they got married, they have lives. Like I'm sure they don't want to know nobody wants to know whose names or nothing, because I'm sure
Right.
nobody will be
Definitely, yeah,
exposed.
yeah.
They have their own lives going on, I'm sure. Yeah.
But
they're
as
married.
far as like,
I never really kept contact with any of
Oh,
them.
okay, so
Yeah.
no, like you don't know about careers and
No.
you end up building careers and stuff like
yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah, I heard some had really good jobs right now too.
That's
Yeah,
good.
they
That's
made,
fire. Yeah.
They
like-
made it. Yeah.
like you said, they grew up too. Everybody
Right.
grows up at a certain stage, and then some don't, but let's say
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah, I'm a late bloomer.
But man, the
It's
good thing
taking
is
me
that
a long time, but I know I'm gonna do it sooner or
and you're
later.
doing it. You're
Yeah.
doing it. And again,
100%.
we've seen it. We've seen it. We'll go places and people know you.
Yeah.
For the positive things though, they're like, yeah, she knows X, Y, and Z. She's in the community. They're giving out toys. You're at events, especially
Yeah.
a lot of the
Yeah, we had toy drives as well. in the
toy
in the
drives.
projects. Yeah, we did that. Yeah.
And I think that's important, man. If every community had people like that, and if we had more of it, I think we wouldn't be harassed as much because we would be able to control our communities and know what's happening.
Yeah.
As opposed to letting the cops do it, because what happens then? Sometimes we get vilified, right?
Right.
Sometimes
That's a good point.
they show up and instead of handling the problem, they think we're the problem automatically, and it's not always. But those are issues that.
Yeah,
I
and then
think-
me, like, it's always like guilty by association. Like they see me in the hood, crash unit, and it's like I live in the hood, so it's like they see me, they're gonna pull me over. Hey, you should have
Even
a gun.
now.
Even
Yeah.
now, like I know
Really?
cops, like I don't know, they just always assume like because of your like I said, your criminal background, your criminal record that people know. So yeah, I always get harassed. Like hey, I'm not. Hey, I live here, but my life is different now. They find out eventually, but
Like they see the work you're doing.
yeah,
they'll end
but
up
they
catching
still
you.
want to
just
harass
just
you a
reach
little
out
bit.
and try to see
Yeah.
what's up.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, it sucks, but I get it.
Yeah.
You're at terms with it.
Yes.
So we did chop it up a little bit. You said that you kind of want to branch out into new things. So if you could, what is something that you had on your mind that you said that if they gave you an opportunity, either through training or through hooking you up with an internship or something,
Yeah.
what are some of those avenues that you're like, what, I kind of want to try out?
I'm interested in gang prevention.
Okay,
I'm in,
okay.
maybe case managers, assistant to anybody, CEO assistant. I got you.
Yo, there you go. That's
Yeah.
what's up.
I
Yeah.
love
She'll look out.
I love that you said reentry. You know what I tell people all the time? The one criteria that a lot of peer navigators, reentry coaches, there's a bunch of titles like that. The one requirement they have is you have to know the justice system or be knowledgeable.
Yes.
And who is more knowledgeable than someone like yourself?
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
those opportunities don't X them out. Those are things that are tangible and they're reachable. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
real quick, as far as like now advice to our female watchers, like what would you tell them to kind of like stay away from that scene or to keep them going or to just even the young ones? Like, what are some words that you can give them right now?
Well, it's hard to say anything because, like I said, some girls grow up with like single parents and they don't have anything. Like I said, no structure. So what do you
Yeah.
tell somebody like that? You stay away from the gangs. Like really, you end up in prison. You're gonna either be a lifer or you're gonna be like me. Not having really experience. Like no college, no nothing. But. You have to be focused. You have to have a structure, a goal. What you want to do in life. White people always have a goal. This is what you're gonna do.
For
You know what I mean? They do. We don't. Raza doesn't have a goal like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My philosophy on that is that the problem with us is that we play hard young, and we're playing catch up later.
Yeah.
While we're seeing them in school grinding
Yes.
at 24, and we're like, man, fuck that, I'm going to a party while they're doing that.
Exactly.
But and then the roles get reversed. They're the ones by the time they're 30 years old, they got a business, house, car.
They got everything.
And we're barely getting
And we're
it
barely
together.
getting
Yeah.
it. Yeah. And that's what happens. So I think if we started like a different structure, for the kids now, or even
Yeah.
in high school, like structure to this is what you do. You fix your credit. You buy property. Nobody really tells you that, unless your parents know that. You have parents like, that know how to do real estate and stuff like that. Real estate to me is like the best thing, right? Real estate.
It is a
buy
great,
property,
it's great to do.
flip it. I'm learning to do stocks right now, so
Oh,
that's
shit.
what I'm paying someone to show me how to trade, and so
Okay.
yeah. So
I just can't wait till we get you back and you're gonna have 3 security guards right here. You're gonna be a big baller. Shit, you might pull up in the Lambo. We'll do the interview in the Lambo. Fuck that. Like you're gonna make it. You're gonna make
Yeah.
it. But I'm glad that at
Thank
least
you.
there's like these females watchers that can look up to you and know like you've been through all this shit, even of being a mother yourself and all that. yet you're still keeping yourself away and you're like, fuck
Yeah.
that, I'm gonna focus on something.
Yeah.
Even then you're trying things, but you're trying the right things. You're not trying no bullshit things.
No,
that,
no, no.
like,
I
illegal
can't go
activities and
backwards. I'm
shit
going
like that.
forward.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
keep it up.
Yeah.
Definitely 100%. Thank you so much for being here, Jen.
Thank you
Yo,
for
that
having
shit was
me.
good. Hey, didn't she do good on camera though?
That was
What the
fire.
fuck was she talking
I
about?
was stuck.
Look,
I'm stuck.
like, what is she
Reentry
talking about?
Network Podcast. That was it.
That
Let's
was
get
it. We
baby.
out, man.